do not be afraid to leave people where they are.
We went from 2 a.m. calls to zero communication. Yeah, we spent too long in heaven. Yeah, we felt the elevation. Feels kinda different and we're not the same. Cause anything's have to change. I got no trouble with my pride. Got trouble cutting tight.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Janey. If you are new, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And follow your girl on all social media. So, today, we're going to be talking about therapy. I know I haven't done like a sit down talk with you guys in like a while. Like, I don't even remember the last sit down talk that I did. But it's been some time. So, grab your drink. It is like early Sunday morning, so I will not be drinking alcohol. Even though normally I would be having mimosas. But I drank last night, so don't really need to be having any more alcohol at 9 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. But either way, I have some tea. We got green tea. Green? Is it green today? Yes. We got some green tea from Trader Joe's. We're gonna be sipping on this, clean ourselves out from last night's festivities. And let's get into the video. So for those of you who don't know, which most of you guys probably wouldn't know, but I went to therapy for about 6 to 8 months. Not because I felt like I had anything wrong with me. Like, no one ever feels like they have anything wrong until they go to therapy and they're like bawling their eyes out. That was me. Honestly, when I first went, I was not like the biggest advocate of like therapy. I kind of had like that ignorant mindset of, oh, you only go to therapy if like you legit have problems, like things that people can see, like you're acting out here and this, that, the other. Like, I was very ignorant when it came to therapy, like extremely ignorant, and like now I can admit that. But when I first went, like I kind of went with like a nonchalant attitude about going. So I went to the first therapist in, I want to say 2018. Yeah, like summer 2018. It was like this nice younger like Caucasian woman. Like, she wasn't bad, but I think because I went in there with like the mindset of I don't need this, it made no sense. Like, I was sitting there like talking. I still cried because I'm a crier. Anyone who like knows me like I cry for everything. I don't know why, because I'm never really upset, but I just cry. It's weird. I'm a crier. Anyways, so I went in like 2018 and I only went to one session, and then I was just like, oh, okay, well, I tried. I don't think this is for me, blah 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 blah, like, and I kind of like wrote it off. And then in like 2019, like me and my boyfriend were having conversations, and like he's been to therapy before, and he was just like, you should try again, because your first therapist usually is not like the therapist that you stick with. And like, I've heard other people say that before. They were just like, oh, don't give up after you try one therapist, blah 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 blah. So I'm like, you know what, if my insurance covers it, shout out to being under my mama's insurance, because oh baby, therapy can get expensive, like really expensive. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try it again. No harm, no foul. Like, I went to another place, like a completely different place than the first place I went to. I'm gonna insert the name and everything of it on the screen, and my therapist's name was Dr. Soli. Oh my god, I love her. I love her. Like, when I say like it was amazing, like, let me start you guys off with like a step-by-step of how this company ran. And I don't know if it's because I tried the first one with a nonchalant attitude. I don't know if it's the procedure that this second place did, but honestly, they set me up good. So first you have to go in for an intake with like the guy who owns like that company or whatever the case is. You have to go in for like an intake exam. So he asks you about your problems. He asks you like this list of like 20 something questions so that he can match you up with who he thinks in his office is like the best match for you. So I answered all the questions. I'm like, okay, whatever, cool. Came back like the next week and I met Soli, and it was a match made in heaven. Like, I walked in And like the first thing she said, like, and this therapist room was like the TV therapist room. Like it had like the long couch, it had like the tissue, the water, like the little fan heater, everything. Like it was cute. Her little room was cute, okay? And this was 2019. So as soon as I came in, I was just like, which seat should I sit on? Because there was like a regular like sitting chair and then like, you know, the long one. So I wanted to make sure that I was allowed to be on, you know, the cute long one. Like, if I'm coming to therapy, I want like the whole shebang, okay? So went on to like the cute little long one. She was like, sit anywhere. So I like sat, laid up, kind of like still goofy-ish about it. Like, as I said, like first I was never like the yay therapy type. So I was kind of like goofy-ish about it. Like, okay, as I said, if I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be here, okay? So as soon as I laid down, she was like, you look sad. Excuse me, ma'am, what do you, sad? Who? I'm happy, I'm chilling, I'm about to go to brunch after this, like, who's sad? So then she was like, take me back to when you were a kid. Okay. And then like, she just started like, the questions that she was asking was not, they weren't what I was expecting. I thought like, she would ask you a little bit of like childhood stuff, like, but she literally asked for things that I did not think were important, like at all. Like she was like, how often were your parents home? What? Like little tiny things. And then like, as the weeks went on, she literally just started like reading me to where every time I came in, I was just like, bro, why am I always crying here? Like, I cry a lot normally, but there's no reason for 45 minutes from the second minute I'm in there until 1 minute before I'm about to leave, I'm in tears, like shambles. Complete and utter shambles. So the crying stuff went on for like the first 3 to 4 months. Like I was just always crying and crying and crying. She was like, this is what you need. Like we need to break down your barriers because like you're a very defensive person, which is something that I realized like after a while. Like I used to be very, very defensive. I'm still kind of defensive depending on who's speaking to me. Like if I care about you, like I actually care about your opinion of me. If I don't care about you, then okay. But like there are probably like a handful of people who can actually get me into like my defensive like bop 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 type mode to where like I don't want to hear anything because I'm just like, oh my god, I didn't live up to like the expectation that I think you should have of me. So the first 3 to 4 months was just crying. And then when I say I hit like a whole breakthrough, bruh, like I hit the ultimate breakthrough. She literally just linked all my childhood trauma stuff that I'll do like story times on like some childhood stuff that I've been through before, but she literally just started like like hitting everywhere. So she used that to kind of like analyze the life I was living then. Like she like linked it to friendship, she linked it to like my relationship. So basically I had like the opposite of like attachment syndrome, because like I kind of grew up slightly as an only childish. Like I have 4 different siblings. Like I have siblings, but we never lived together for like a long time. It was just like we would live together for like 3 years, and then somebody would move, and then like we would live together for like another 4 years, and then like I was by myself. So it was just like I never really learned the proper way, her words, I never really learned like the proper way to form and like establish connections with people. Like I didn't know how to grasp it. So what is it called? The opposite, like, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Reactive attachment disorder. Basically, I don't know how to form attachments with people, and because of my very nonchalant attitude in life, I didn't care to try to learn how to like form attachments with people. Like I'm that person, and it's sad because even to this day I'm still that way. Like even after therapy, I just learned how to do it in a less self-destructive way, which is what she told me. She was like, nothing is wrong with it, you just have to not be self-destructive with it, which I'll go more into depth. So my problem was that I didn't care enough to build lasting bonds with people. It was, if you piss me off, that's it. Like I'm a loner. I learned for a long time how to be alone and be happy with like my lonesome, which is a positive. Like I'm that person who I take myself on dates. I like go out by myself. Like I can stay home all day by myself and be the complete happiest person. Like I do not need other people around me to have a good time. Like it is amazing how happy I am when I'm by myself. But at this point in my life, like 2019 going into like 2020, I was just like, I was kind of self-destructing because I didn't give people the chance to make mistakes, which is bad because I know everybody's not perfect. I'm not perfect. So back in 2019, 2020, I didn't build a correct boundary yet. Like for me, you piss me off, I tell you that you piss me off and you do it again. That's it. Like there was no like third chance. Now I learned to have like a 3-step warning, like a hey, verbally I tell you. It's kind of like a job. Like I'll verbally tell you, hey, I don't like that you're doing this, like this hurts my feelings, like I feel disrespected by this, whatever the case may be. Second, I make sure I say it in like a text message, something to where I can go back and reference and be like, did you say this? Oh wait, yes, you did say this. You did tell this person how you felt. And then like there's the third one where I don't block people unless they know that they're about to be blocked. Like I'm that person who, if you annoy me enough, or if I feel like this friendship is not gonna go far, I will let you know. Like, hey, well, honestly, I feel like you don't respect me enough to like care about my emotions, and I'm putting in more into this friendship or this relationship than you are. So honestly, I just think we should just go our separate ways. We don't have any problems. Like I don't hate you. We have no beef. But for my own better mental health, I think it's best that we just end the friendship. Like that is the person I am. Like I will make sure I tell you that I'm cutting you off. Don't like, if I didn't tell you that I'm cutting you off, I don't have any beef with you. I just suck at communicating sometimes. So don't feel like, hey, well, she doesn't talk to me in forever, like she has a problem with me, this, that, the other. No, genuinely, you just don't cross my mind. Sorry, it sounds like an asshole thing, but you genuinely just don't cross my mind. If we had problems, best believe you would know that we have an issue, because I talk things out, because I don't want anybody to ever assume anything. I don't ever want to walk into a room and there's tension coming from different places, because I pick up on energies amazingly. I don't ever want to walk into a room and people have a problem with me based off of their incorrect assumption that I have a problem with them. So I'll say in therapy, she told me, you suck. She legit said, like her exact words were, you suck at establishing relationships. And if you do not start giving people more chances, you are legit going to push every single person away. Everyone away. For them being human. And I was just like, damn. You right. You right. That makes sense. Okay, Soli, like you onto something. Like you onto something. Cool. So, sorry. I'm getting parched. Make sure y'all are drinking y'all tea, alcohol, juice, whatever y'all have to drink. Make sure y'all are drinking it right now. And if you made it this far, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Like, I'll wait, actually. I'll wait. Go ahead. Click the subscribe button, right down there. And then click the little notification bell too, because you want to know when I post. Because I like talking to y'all, so you should do that. So that was one of my first like diagnosis. Like it's not, I don't want to call it like a whole diagnosis, but that was just one of like the first things that she pointed out with me. Like I do not know how to establish long-term relationships because I don't give people enough chances. Which, as I said, no, I gave myself 3 boundary chance. Like you have 3 times, I explain myself, and then I let you know that, hey, this is not going to work. I'm not gonna be like, oh, okay, well, once I gave you that last third one, like, you're completely and utterly shut and we'd never have space in the future. But for right now, I'm taking time for myself. You should do the same. Work on your problems. I work on my problems. Because in a friendship, in a relationship, in anything, like, it's never, let me not say never. It's usually not just one person's fault that something is going downhill. It's either the both of your personalities don't hit, one person is more narcissistic than the next. Like, it's usually like both people, or you might be the toxic one that just likes narcissistic behavior. No matter what, it usually takes two to tango. It literally does. So it's just like for right now, we're not working. So let's deal with ourselves, and then maybe in the future we can come back and we can be cordial. But yeah, for right now, this ain't it. So then the second, I don't know what that was, but so then the second thing that she had like pointed out to me was, I said, like, communication. Like, I did not fully communicate, and I had started seeing that affecting like my actual relationship, like my relationship with my boyfriend. Like, we're still together, you think? Therapy, it helped. We probably would not have been healthily together this long if it was not for like literally this tiny bit of information. So this is like a slight detour of my horoscope talk. I'm a Virgo. I'm very nonchalant. Like, I can come across rude. It's really not my intention. I'm just very blunt. Like, I'm very blunt. My boyfriend, however, is a Cancer, who, if you know anything about Cancers, they're very emotional, they're very sensitive, they hold on to everything you say, they take everything personal. And I didn't understand, because at that point I didn't care about horoscopes. Now y'all gonna be getting a video on horoscopes actually. Right now I'm a whiz at horoscopes. I get it. I know like sun, moon, rising, like we will talk about horoscopes on a different video. But I didn't really realize that, hey, I can't say whatever first comes to my mind all the time. Like, sometimes you have to like rethink things and reword things so that you don't come across like an asshole, which sadly I can kind of be an asshole. Like, I don't mean to be an asshole, because to me I think I'm just being regular because that's how I normally talk. But to others it can seem like I'm intentionally being an asshole. So she literally broke down to me like, hey, when you guys get into like an argument, how does that work? And I was like, we normally don't argue because we have like a rule. Well, let me not say we don't argue. We don't argue the way that a lot of people argue. Like, we have rules. No one's allowed to raise their voice. If you raise your voice, the other person like cuts in like, hey, kick it down. Like, there's no cursing at each other. There's no throwing things. Like, we have rules for like our discussions. So like our arguments were never like bad. But my problem was at that time that I don't know how to communicate how I'm feeling at the moment. So he was very like, hey, we're having this discussion right now. Like, I need you to participate in the discussion. Like, it can't just be one person talking and then I'm just sitting there like, you done? Because that's what I would do. Because if I don't know how I feel at the moment, like, I'm not just gonna talk. So then when you're with someone who wants to have a conversation, you don't know the words that you want to say at the moment. Like, you just start saying anything just to think that you're gonna get out of it, which is what I used to do whenever like I broke past the every time I broke past that part, like, then I would just start saying anything like, yo, you're pissing me off, like, honestly, like, I don't want to talk to you, this, that, the other, like, okay, I'm about to leave. Like, I didn't have conversations. I would just leave or just say you're pissing me off. So then in therapy, it literally taught me like, hey, you cannot say that. If you feel like at the moment you don't know how you feel, you have to communicate that. Like, you not knowing your words needs to be communicated that you don't know your words right now. So she literally gave me the word for it. She was like, the next argument you guys have, or the next discussion that you guys have, say to him, hey, right now my feelings are all over the place. I can't give you the answers that you're looking for right now. So can we bench this conversation, write down how you feel, I write down how I feel, and then we revisit it later. And when I tell y'all that that was the best advice I've ever received in my life, bro, I swear after that, we probably, to this day, well, it's only been like a year and a half since then, but let me be dramatic for a little bit. But to this day, literally, we only have like one serious argument every 4 to 5 months. Like, when I tell y'all, like, our communication is superb, and I had no idea that me simply just saying, hey, right now my emotions are all out of sorts. Like, if I communicate to you right now, I'm not going to be expressing how I truly feel. I'm going to be expressing anger over something I don't even understand. So can we just bench this and come back? And that was it. Like, after that, like, it took him probably like 2 or 3 more like discussions for him to like understand, like, hey, okay, like, I can't push her past like her limit of communication. Like, this is how much she's willing to give me right now. Like, I have to respect it. It took like 2 or 3 more discussions, like, well, heated discussions afterwards. And then once he got it, like, we were good. And then another piece of advice that she gave that solely, like, bruh, amazing piece of advice she gave was to stop an argument in the middle of it. Like, if both people are disagreeing, I used to normally be like, well, let's just agree to disagree. And then that would be it. Like, very nonchalant. Like, let's just agree to disagree. I don't understand where you're coming from. You don't understand where I'm coming from. Like, agree to disagree. And she, like, literally, she was like, what you're saying isn't wrong. The way you're saying it is wrong. The way that you're saying it comes across dismissive. And I was just like, but I'm not being dismissive. I'm just saying, hey, the both of us are just talking in circles right now because neither of us, like, agree with what the other person's saying. And she was like, you are correct. But the way that you say things comes across rude and dismissive. So don't do that. Simply just say, and I quote, right now, this discussion is not being productive. Can we bench this and come back when both of us have a clear mind and is willing to hear the other person out without trying to respond? Awesome. Awesome. Literally, I do this now with friendships, not just relationships. Like, I had like a girlfriend who, she like misunderstood something that like I was saying, and she was like pissed, heated. And I said, like, I don't argue. Like, I don't argue with anybody. Like, I'm not an argumentative person. I'm non-confrontational. Like, I don't argue. I just dismiss. So at that point, like, she was like on the phone, like getting crazy. And I was just like, right now this conversation is not being productive. I feel like you're misunderstanding me. I'm clearly misunderstanding you. So I'm gonna hang up now. And whenever you calm down, we can come back and have this conversation. And then that was it. Like, and we're cool again now. Like, it's fine, because instead of me just being like, bro, you're pissing me off, like, why are you on my phone? Like, honestly, like, why are you on my phone? And just hanging up on you, because I was the queen of hanging up. Like, if I told you, yeah, I don't want to talk about this, and you kept going, I hung up. I would not tell you I was hanging up. I hung up. I was the queen of hanging up. Queen. Very toxic. I know that now. But I was the queen of hanging up on people. So, shout out to Soli, because she saved a lot of y'all the headache. Like, she did. She saved y'all the headache. But yeah, those are like some staples that she taught for like my relationship that I obviously brought into like friendships and work relationships and anything of the sort. Like, give people the time to think before they respond, because when you want an answer so quickly, you don't get the real answer, and then you burn a bridge, and by the time you calm down, it's way too late to go back for most people. Some people will give you the benefit of the doubt, but when you're angry, you say things that you can never take back. Like, words can't come back into your mouth. So it's better for you to just shut up, be quiet, come back to the situation later when you have a clear mind, and then discuss it productively, than for you to just pop off because you think somebody wants an answer right now, or because you don't have enough self-control to just shut up. So the last little tidbit that I want to add to therapy, I feel like this was like slight story time slash me telling y'all about therapy at the same time, but it's cool. It's cool. I don't care. If you guys made it this far, remember, subscribe, follow me on social media, hit that bell button, do all that good shit, like, comment, and subscribe. So yes, the last like concrete thing that she like left with me, sadly COVID happened, and I tried doing like the video conferencing. It wasn't for me. I don't like talking about my feelings via like computer screen. Like, it just, personally, it was not my thing. I guess I grew accustomed to like just laying down on like the nice little couch in her office, but trying to do it online did not work for me. But like the last conversation we had before like COVID, they had to like close down their offices and stuff like that, it was, do not be afraid to leave people where they are. I have like this fixer type of mentality where I feel like, oh, I can fix anyone, like I can totally, like, I'll help, like, and I'll drain myself. She was like, meet people where they are, but if you have met them there and they don't want to take the journey down the road themselves, don't be afraid to leave them where they are. You can only help someone but so far. You can only push someone down the street oh so long. You cannot, and you are not, responsible for someone else's journey into their own maturity. And I keep saying that this was like classic advice, because every single thing she's ever told me, like, I looked around and I was just like, oh my god, this is why you get frustrated, because you give and give and give so much to people, and then when you tell them how you feel, they don't respect it, and then you end up irritated, mad, and then you have to do like a full cutoff, when you could have just been the one to initially be like, hey, why am I draining myself for the betterment of someone else? If that person doesn't care enough about themselves, you cannot care about someone more than they care about themselves. You cannot. You cannot. It is literally physically draining. I used to have conversations with some people on the phone that when like I hung up, I felt like I needed to call my therapist. Like, they were draining, they were toxic, and it was the same problems all the time. Do you know how frustrating it is to have the same conversation over and over with someone and they make no efforts to change? None. Like, that was the life I was living, and I was like, okay, I gotta leave you where you are. Whenever you mature, whenever you're ready to like actually make changes in your life, come find me. Like, we're cool, we have no beef, there's no problems, but for right now, you need to figure out you, and I need some self-care because you done drained my energy, and ain't nobody like that. So guys, we are coming to the end of this video. I just want to make sure that I say, I honestly believe that everyone should go to therapy. If you tried therapy once and it didn't work out for you, try it again. Try it at least 3 times, because I said my first therapist, I went in there as the problematic one. Like, I was nonchalant, I thought I didn't need it, so maybe she could have helped me, but I didn't feel like I needed help. I didn't feel like I was toxic in any way. Like, I thought that I was perfect and the world around me was the problem, not realizing that my dismissal, my attitude, like my nonchalantness was problematic. I thought that if you didn't argue with people, then the people are the problem, not realizing that everyone is not the same, so you're gonna have disagreements, so at some point you're going to argue. I just thought once you argued, you're toxic. So if I don't argue, I'm not toxic. So go to therapy, guys. Like, try it out. I know there's like this online place called BetterHelp. I heard like a lot of people talking about it. As I said, me personally, I don't like talking via like the computer. It doesn't work for me. But, well, let me not say it doesn't work for me. It doesn't feel the same, and I feel like the energy in the room of a therapist's office is what I personally need, and it's what personally helped me before. I'm not completely shutting it out, but now that places are opening back up, I plan on going back in person, because you might not feel like you have any problem, but you're probably doing something that you can more than likely advance higher. So guys, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm finished my tea. So I'll see you guys in the next one.